Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be testing out this system. This motherboard is the asus Z9PE-D8WS. It's a great name, isn't it? Now for this CPU, we actually tested one of these CPUs in a different motherboard in a different video. However, today we are testing two of them in this motherboard. These CPUs are the Intel Xeon E52680 V2s. So we just want to see how much performance we can get out of two of them. It is paired with the GTX 1660, nothing special there. So yeah, let's test it out. Now that we're on the desktop, I can show you all the specs. It's a CPU, 12 gigs of RAM, SSD and GPU. First game we're testing is CS2. As you can see, we are now in CS2, so let's start a deathmatch. As you can see, we are now in a match, and we are getting around like 100 FPS. Not bad. The CPU is on about 30 degrees. It's about 60% usage, so not that bad, especially for a modern like esports title like this. So yeah, if you just want to play CS2 on low settings at 1080p, it's not a bad option. I mean, who's going to be buying this? But yeah, we're just gonna go to settings, put everything on the highest just to see how it runs. Now for the settings on the highest, there's a slight dip in performance. It's getting about 100-ish FPS. Not that significant, so if you want to play on the highest graphics possible, then on this computer and probably on similar ones where you get around 60 FPS, it'll still be quite playable for lows of about 50. So yeah, if you want to play CS2 on this, not a bad choice. On to the next game. The next game we are testing is Rocket League. We are on high settings at 1080p. Let's just start a match. As you guys can see, we are now in a match and it's running perfectly as Rocket League usually runs. This game is not very this game's not very intensive on computers. It's never been, so I'm honestly not surprised. It's running at a solid like about 180-ish FPS. Goes up to like 250 when you're just standing in a corner not looking at anything, so not bad to be honest. If you want to play Rocket League on a system like this, a similar system, not bad at all. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say other than Rocket League ran terribly on some other systems at a really low resolution, all the lower settings, so it really shows if you just save up a bit, spend a little bit more, and get some really decent hardware. Temperature's about the same as CS2, not that much higher. The CPU usage is a little bit higher, so yeah, runs Rocket League just fine. On to the next test. As you can see, the next game we are testing is GTA. I'm just going to start a benchmark mode test and see how it runs. By the way, the settings are 1080p all normal. As you can see, we are now in. We're getting FPS of about 120-ish on the 9th setting. And the CPU is surprisingly cool, about 27, that's like 3 less than CS2 was on. In these rainy weather conditions, we see it gets about a little higher, 140. Always when it goes into night weather, it always goes low to like 80 or 90. That's where we really see the 1% lows kick in at night time. As you can see, we're getting around 160-ish, 160-ish FPS on this place. But when it hits night, it goes down to about 120. On this waterfall, we get about like 130-ish FPS. Again, nighttime pushes the FPS down. Now this playing segment, the FPS usually gets quite high in this segment, so let's see. As I expected, it's hitting about 180-ish FPS, more than what we were seeing earlier. So yeah, this is just fine if you want to play GTA on normalish settings at 1080p. You'll probably even push it to 1440p, these settings. Maybe tweak some settings a little bit. So yeah, this one's GTA just fine. On to the next test. As you can see, the next game we're testing is Minecraft. We are on 1080p at max graphics with 32 chunks. It's running just fine at around 80ish FPS. If you want to play on max render distance, actually no, it's just hitting under 60 sometimes. If you want to play on max render distance and you're only on 60 Hz, this will probably be fine. Or if you're just a casual player, like you're not doing PvP or anything. Even if you're doing PvP, you probably won't need 32 chunks, so Minecraft runs just fine on this PC, on Java, the latest version. What the hell is this? Did you just add this? So yeah, Minecraft runs fine. The CPU is the one taking the hit, because Minecraft isn't really a GPU intensive game, so when you're on the ground, you're probably getting about 100ish FPS. Now we can do a TNT test just to see if it affects anything. Okay, I think that's enough. As you can see, I've placed the TNT. Let's test this. See, it's a big FPS dip actually, down to 4ish FPS. So yeah, this did not really handle it that well. Might just be the new update and the new render thing, I'm not sure, but yeah, that didn't perform so well. But after, it's smoothing out now, so it runs Minecraft just fine in general if you're just running around in a survival world. So on to the next test. 1080p runs just fine as expected. Not really a hit on the 60 and 60 or the CPU. CPU is not that bad. So yeah, just bumping it up to 1440p. It's also fine if I try and speed it up with 2x and then let go. It's just fine. Although it does have some weird, like, choppiness sometimes, but overall it's fine. Only 11 frames have dropped out of the 500 that I've played so far, so not bad. Moving it up to 4K. This is the one where I actually see some lag when I switch between 2x and normal speed. Yeah, a lot more frame drops. But overall, it's still watchable if you just want to let it sit there. I personally like to speed and stop speeding. So there is some noticeable lag there. Bumping up to 8K. The CPU does take a hit between each quality switch, and so does the GPU, up about 30% now. As we can see with 8K, it is lagging quite a bit, and speeding it at 2x makes it worse. Well, if you want to watch it, I guess you could, but it's not going to be the best experience, so I wouldn't really recommend it. I'd say stick to 1080p or 1440p. So, on to the next test. As we can see, the next test is WebGL Aquarium on 500 fishes. About 60. 1,000, it's also 60. 5,000, it's also quite stable. 10k, same. 15k, the same. 20k, we see a tiny dip to 55 sometimes, but still mostly stable. 25k, this is where it actually goes down to about 45ish, and 30k getting about 38 to 40ish FPS. So not bad, one of the better results we've gotten from WebGL fish test. So on to the next test. For Cinebench, we got scores of 14,224 and 601. So the multi-core score is about double of one CPU overall. We don't see a massive performance jump going from 1 to 2 CPUs for gaming, but it will definitely make a difference in productivity. Check out our older vid for performance of just one Xeon 2680V2. And that's that. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.